Okay, it's happened. I feel sorry for Rory and Lorelai Gilmore. No one is more surprised than me. Hey, I'm Bridgette and I'm back. This episode was a lot. And just when you think you can't hate any more characters more than Dean, without further ado, let's get straight into the messy recap. Lorelai gets the bright idea to help Luke spruce up the diner, and though reluctant for a split second, he gives in because he loves Lorelai. The people of Stars Hollow cannot believe it because they've been trying to get Luke to do it for years. Dean comes back into the fold and none of us were better off for it. We rediscovered that he would like a trad wife, just like his mummy, and in order to challenge his potential anti-feminist ideas, Rory decides to dress up like Donna Rude and cook Dean a steak dinner. Rory brings home a pet bird for a school project and Lorelai lets the bird escape and calls Luke to help her find it. Emily and Richard freak out over not booking their usual place at Martha's Vineyard for their spring vacay, but eventually they get their own way. It looks like Lorelai has finally admitted to herself that she may actually like Luke, and we are left wondering if they may actually finally get together.
And that's what you missed on
Gilmore Girls. So, as I mentioned at the end of the last episode, it looks like Deadbeat Dad is back in the picture. I will not be referring to Deadbeat Dad with his Christian given name Christopher until I feel he's earned it. And in this episode, that does not happen. So he's decided to come to Stars Hollow and stay at the Gilmore Girls' house of residence. Rory is going out of her way to make it as comfortable as possible for him, and I simply cannot. She lets us know that Deadbeat Dad has never, ever visited them in Stars Hollow before.
No.
What kind of deadbeat, unethical, immoral parenting madness is this?
We ordered Chinese food. It should be here any minute.
Good, I'm starving.
Sir, did you pay for any of the food? Why didn't you think to order food or indeed cook a meal, considering you've never visited before? And also using my shower water could never be me. Lorelai is really holding her nerve for Rory, and I have to say it is super sweet to witness. But as soon as Rory leaves the room, Lorelai turns to Deadbeat Dad and is like, "Pray tell, why are you here?"
Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know.
So Deadbeat Dad has apparently got his act together and has now got a job. So Lorelai has clearly been down this road before and she's justifiably skeptical. Apparently, Deadbeat Dad is also very spoiled and he's been going over these random business plans with Richard Gilmore, and it's like, Richard Gilmore.
Name out your mouth!
Also this.
So I want to be around more to be another pal she can depend on.
The ghetto! The ghetto!
He claims he wants to be more of a father to Rory. It's a bit late, but go off, I guess. Rory invites Dee Dee. I can't keep saying Deadbeat Dad because it's just too much to say. Anyway, she invites Dee Dee to Dean's softball game in the morning. Side note, is this not the most punchable face you've seen today? Answers in the comments below. Okay, I'm going to do something on this channel that I never ever thought I would do when I started this series. I can't actually believe I'm doing it. Dean's outfit actually hits. There, I said it. You won't be getting another Dean compliment for a while, so soak it up. Luke, on the other hand, looks flawless as per. So the game is going on and Dean and Luke are doing that sort of weird sports bro bantering thing and dick measuring. And Kirk is heckling them from the bleachers.
Hey, Luke, does your husband play softball too? All right, that's it.
Anyway, Dean meets Deadbeat Dad, and what do you know? They seem to get on. They have motorbikes and Rory in common, I guess. So we're at the Independence Inn, and Michelle and Suki are laughing together. This is a strange sight because they are normally at each other's throats. Just seeing Michelle smile is kind of freaking me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Where is my sarcastic, mean-spirited Michelle that I've grown to love? But it doesn't last, and soon they're back to being at each other's throats, and all is well with the world. So Michelle leaves, and Suki wants to know how it's going with Dee Dee living with them at the house. Honestly, I think it's incredibly wild and utterly gracious of Lorelai to let that man stay with them. She says that they haven't seen him since last Christmas and he calls maybe once a week, but somehow he smiles and gets away with it. So the man has teeth. Most people do. That is no justification for him being a useless individual. So Rory is showing Dee Dee around Stars Hollow and guess who's back again. Miss Inappropriate Patty. As we all know, this woman never misses an opportunity to be a pervert.
You know, Christopher, we're all like Rory's parents around here, and I'm one of her mothers. And since you're her father, well, that would make us a couple. Couple Full of what? I don't know.
She must know that this man is a deadbeat because he hasn't been in Rory's life, but I don't think Miss Patty is the discerning type. After flirting outrageously with Dee Dee, she gets straight on the phone and breaks the news that he's there to the entire town. I'm not sure why they're welcoming him like he's the Messiah returned, when they all know that his absence means that he obviously hasn't been much of a father, and seeing as they're all obsessed with Rory and treat her like she's the Messiah, I don't understand why they're so happy about his return. These hoes ain't loyal.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Jackson. Ugh. Now, I don't want to be negative in this episode, so unless he does something to truly offend me, I'm going to remain neutral where Jackson is concerned. His outfit is fine. It's weather appropriate, I guess. There. Also, apparently this guy who's been popping in and out every now and again is called Andrew. Cool. So everyone has been talking about how attractive Dee Dee is, and honestly, it's annoying. He's not that hot. So they're in Andrew's bookshop, and Dee Dee has heard that Rory likes books, and it's like, well, if you weren't such a deadbeat dad, you'd be able to be a little bit more specific about that. But anyway, he asks her if she'd like a book, and she chooses the dictionary because she's Rory. The man goes to pay for it, and...
Declined.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
I was actually cringing so hard. Anyway, embarrassing scenes aside, this girl behind them looks incredible. So we're at Luke's diner and Dee Dee and Rory walk in, and Luke has a very specific rule about no phones being in the diner, which I actually think is quite a nice idea. But does Dee Dee adhere to this rule? Does he... He takes a phone call from none other than Emily Gilmore. Why is she calling him? For some reason, she is pleased that Dee Dee is in town. But I wish I could get this much grace from people. Emily's eyeshadow matches her shirt, so I really do think the stylist is working extra hard on this episode. Emily lets Lorelai know that Dee Dee's parents are going to be in town, and so she's taken the liberty of inviting them over for Friday night dinner, obviously without asking Lorelai, as we know that Emily is prone to do. So Friday night dinner rolls around, and Lorelai uses a key to enter the house for the first time ever. She usually rings the doorbell. Richard Gilmore is also hyped to see Dee Dee, and honestly, it's getting annoying now.
Splash of greatness, as my mother would say. You always had that splash of greatness.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
They are up his ass. So, Dee Dee's parents arrive, and they are demonic. They barely acknowledge Lorelai and Rory when they enter, and they go straight up to Dee Dee. Also, Francine's suit is too shiny for my liking. Also, they haven't seen their grandchild since she was a baby.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
What kind of a name is Strobe anyway? Is he a DJ? They are so unbelievably rude, and the conversation is awkward and stilted. Lorelai, trying to lighten the mood, makes a comment about President Bush, and it is such a throwback.
I hate President Bush.
What? Lorelai?
The future Trump supporters don't take too kindly to it. Kel surprise. And they talk about Lorelai as if she's not even in the room. And secondly, they talk about her like she's a naughty child that they need to reprimand.
I see your daughter's just as out of control as ever, Richard. Pop, please, let's...
I actually audibly gagged. Strobe is a d. Richard lets him say his piece for a little bit too long, but finally gets up and handles his business.
Round one.
I'm just scoot on over and let you whack him. Get him again. Get him for me.
I wanted to jump through the screen and handle him myself. This little run from Emily is iconic. So afterwards, Lorelai thanks Richard for sticking up for her, and it doesn't go down that well. Richard says that the reason he stuck up for Lorelai was to protect the Gilmore Girl name, and I'm going to have to say that's going to make him come down in the character analysis chart. They're acting like Lorelai is still 16. She is a big woman who, for all intents and purposes, is handling her business. She's pretty successful. She's raised that child on her own. They should be more proud of her.
But wow, what a moment. I will never forget.
Oh my actual Lord, I am turning into a Lorelai Gilmore apologist. Don't really know what to do with myself. I feel itchy. Richard does claw it back a little bit by letting Lorelai in on the fact that when she left and they had no contact, that both him and Emily were absolutely devastated. But, you know, the phone works both ways. It's like, why are we chatting about this now 16 years later? Y'all need therapy for real. And all this time I've been wondering, why is Richard riding so hard for Dee Dee? But it's basically because he wants things done properly and thinks that they should have got married when she was up the duff. Why would he want his daughter to marry this guy?
No.
Emily sits down in the kitchen with Rory and tries to make a case for Strobe, but it crumbles in about 10 seconds.
Oh, let's face it. He's a big ass.
Emily assures Rory that even with all the bickering and fighting and general horrendousness, Rory has always been wanted. And it is a real moment. And it looks like Emily may be crawling up just a little bit up the chart. So Lorelai's crying on the balcony and just trying to process and make sense of the evening when Dee Dee enters with some alcohol. And it's like, you were not the one who was insulted all evening and you've done zero parenting. Why do you need alcohol? Lorelai definitely needs the drink. Dee Dee says that this is where Rory was conceived, and honestly, my gag reflexes cannot take a second longer. It gets worse. We head back to Luke. He's at the diner with all the paints and all the decoration stuff, and Lorelai Gilmore is nowhere to be found. Why is this the saddest episode of all time? So Miss Lorelai Gilmore is on the balcony making out with Dee Dee. Is she on crack? Look, I get it. I get it. Old habits die hard, blah, blah, blah. They have a kid together. I don't care. They make their way back to Stars Hollow with Rory in tow, and it's very clear that they've had sex. Lorelai lets Rory know that she is not the problem, and she does it without bad-mouthing the grandparents, which to me is very commendable and something that I absolutely would not have been able to do. They would have been cussed from here to high heaven. I would be cussing Strobe out at every single opportunity I got.
Yeah, I said it.
So the next morning, Lorelai wakes up in a panic because she finally realises that she was supposed to be helping Luke with the diner, and she rushes out in her pajamas to go and apologise. Honestly, I feel like I'm having an aneurysm. The bitch had a bad night. Luke's little face is too much for me to cope with. I feel like weeping. He senses that there was a man involved in her absence. Well, he's not wrong. So after all of that, 15 episodes, it looks like Lorelai and Luke are not going to be a thing after all. Damn you, Dee Dee. Lorelai heads back home and is trying to explain to Dee Dee why she feels so horrendous. And instead of truly listening to what she has to say, the idiot proposes.
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
But Lorelai handles him, and dare I say it, I'm kind of proud of her. We've come a long way, Lorelai, you and I.
You're not a loser.
I beg to differ. And just as quickly as the wind blew him in, Dee Dee leaves.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun. I gotta be good.
On a motorbike that he should sell so that he could afford to buy his only daughter a dictionary. They watch him ride off, and bless Rory, she obviously wants her parents to be together, but this ain't it. The Gilmore Girls really do have poor taste in boys and men. Then Lorelai makes good on her promise to help Luke with the diner decoration. And come on, just get together already. So Rory goes up mainly because I feel sorry for her and the fact that her dad is a moron. Plus, she really tried to make him comfortable when he was so undeserving. Lorelai goes up exponentially and may actually get Mother of the Year award. I don't love that she slept with Dee Dee, but old habits die hard, I guess. Richard Gilmore nearly punched a man for being rude to his daughter, but mainly did it to preserve the Gilmore name, which was annoying. Still, I enjoyed the energy. He goes up slightly. Emily was too pleased to have those demonic people round, so she has to come down a tad. Luke was an angel and was really hurt when he thought Lorelai stood him up, and my heart swelled. Strobe and Francis can get in the bin. They're not even going on the chart. Dee Dee, as predicted and as told to me by you guys in the comments, stays firmly at the bottom where he belongs. Well, this was a stellar episode, and 15 episodes in, and I finally warmed up to Rory and Lorelai. It's a miracle. But as we know, things change a lot around here, so by next week they've probably got on my nerves again. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be back next week for more shenanigans. Okay, bye. If you're down and feeling blue, come watch my Gilmore Girls reviews. Subscribe.